Check, yeah.
Check 1, 2. All right. Good morning, blessed morning, everyone. How are you feeling? Happy Father's Day to the fathers and the father energy in the space. Happy Father's Day, yes, yes. Happy Juneteenth, as we celebrate Juneteenth in this, which was actually yesterday, observed tomorrow. We're going to start off with a song traditional in the African American spirit, which we call our national anthem. So can you please stand, stretch, and also just greet someone, say hello to someone, smile at someone, share energy with someone. Let's get in the spirit of connecting in the beginning as we lift every voice.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring
Good morning, Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. Happy Father's Day to the fathers and to the father figures out there. I also want to bring Reverend Jeff into the room because he definitely was a father figure to many of us. Happy Pride Month to everyone. And then, of course, happy Juneteenth, commemorating the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. And then, of course, thank you to our musicians, Kev Choice, and to Valerie Trout. Thank you so much for that wonderful song. Welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where we teach spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. A special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the very first time. We're so glad you are here in the sanctuary with us. Please raise your hand, and one of our ushers will bring you a welcome packet. If you're here for the first time, raise your hand. Wonderful. Welcome, welcome. Also, a big welcome to everyone joining us on YouTube Live. Let's go ahead and give them a nice wave. And then for those of you who are new, make sure you sign up for our weekly newsletter so that you can learn about all the fun things we have to offer here at Oakland Center. One of the things that we've changed in the hosting section is the different events that are going on at the center. We're doing a loop in the beginning of the service, and we're also doing a loop at the end of the service on the PowerPoint screens. You can find out what's going on, and then, of course, at the website, oaklandcsl.org. Let's now take a moment to bless our children wherever they are. Read along with me. We honor all our youth and children in our community and the world. We love you. We see you. You are Spirit's gift to us. Thank you for being in our lives, and so it is. Now, if everybody could please stand and read our vision and mission statement. The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. And so it is. Also, for Juneteenth, to commemorate it, we are having some light fare, sandwiches and salads in the social hall after service. Please be sure to stop by and visit with the village. As always, for more information on all that is going on at Oakland Center, visit our website, www.oaklandcsl.org. Be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter, the Thursday Village News. And also you can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for special updates and content you'll find by liking and subscribing to OCSL. And then, of course, a reminder after the service, there will be a loop of the different events that are going on at our center. Now, it is my honor to invite the pulpit assistant for today, practitioner Dorothy Mendez. Thank you.
Good morning, and happy Father's Day and happy Juneteenth, everybody. We're free, we're free. Thank God Almighty, we're free. The famous words of Martin Luther King. Now, together I'm going to ask you to stand that we will do our new minister's sacred covenant together. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life, that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to reveal spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as wisdom. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by Spirit, for it is written, I am filled with divine wisdom. I allow divine mind stand in agreement with my beloved community. I see my new minister revealed before me as unity in the community. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am inspiring unity in diversity, embracing and nourishing our community. I am awakening the wisdom within. I am healing and expanding our community with the power of love. I am engaging the community and building a world that works for everyone. I am deepening family consciousness. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they are revealed in a way that illumines spirit and serves the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful. God is gracious, and so it is. Ashe. Thank you. And now I have two spiritual readings for you. Our first one is by our founder, Ernest Holmes. The body remembers. Our body is part of the kingdom of God. Therefore, there is a spiritual pattern at the center of it. Our next reading is by Andrea Marie Brown. We have been raised to fear the yes within ourselves, our greatest, deepest cravings. But once recognized, those which do not enhance our future lose their power and can be altered. So let's just breathe this in as we recognize and know that there is only one life, and that life is the life of God. And that life is the life of each and every one of us here right now. As I, Dorothy, speak my word, accepting and knowing that this service is already complete in the mind of God, and that that which needs to be revealed is taking place right here, right now. Knowing for each and every one of us that we celebrate God's grace and its sufficiency in all things. As we celebrate this wonderful Sunday of joy and happiness and love for our fathers, those men who have brought us joy and love and peace within our hearts. And I am knowing for each and every one of us that we are blessed, that we know someone who has fathered us in one way or another. I give thanks for our wonderful musicians today as they sing songs of joy and spirit. I give thanks for the AV team who makes this service possible for those who are live streaming us today. And I give thanks for each and every one of you here. As I know the truth is being revealed as we welcome home our beloved Reverend Sunshine Michelle. Yes, this is home for her. And I am knowing for each and every one who's had anything to do with this service today, that they are blessed. They are blessed, and that we are all blessed. And I know for each one of us that we are open at the top to receive the words that Reverend Sunshine has for us today. And I give great thanks for our beloved Reverend Jerry, who leads us through these times, knowing that her love for our community, that we give back to the joy that she has given us and the way she has served this community, as she has picked up the reign. We say thank you, Reverend Jerry. Thank you. And so I am knowing that each one of us here today will be transformed and renewed by the words that are spoken here today. So I am knowing that we are all blessed, that we give thanks for Spirit moving in and through each and every one of us here today. So as I know the truth being revealed, I just simply say, thank you. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, for this and for the more. I let go, I let God, and so it is.
Good morning. All right, this is I Am Bound, yeah? And it just talks about trying to renew your mind and stay open to the possibilities. Crossing the twinkle in your eye, candle burning, flickering through the night. I am bound to see the light. I am bound to see the light. Kissing the sweetness of your lips. Roses in bloom bring death to my fingertips. I am bound to see the light. I am bound to see the light. It may behoove you to learn your circle dance. Love is not just emotion, but a spiritual romance. Love may only come once or twice, but when you find love, please don't deny. Hugs of affection, a touch of lace, a brand new baby, a mother's embrace. I am bound to see the light. I am bound to see the light. Hey. Circle dance. Love is not just emotion, but a spiritual romance. Love may only come once or twice, but when you find love, please don't deny. Hugs of affection, a touch of lace, a brand new baby.
We are blessed. So Reverend Jerry here, and all those good well wishes I wish to everyone today, June 19th. It's such a special day, so much to celebrate. Just look at each other and celebrate one another. Yes, this is our spiritual home, our spiritual community. Today's a really special day for me too. Dorothy Mendez had to call me the other day and wish me happy anniversary. I'm like, what are you talking about? Today, June 19th, I donated a kidney to my brother George 2 years ago, and we're both doing fabulous, so. And God bless Dorothy, she's right on it. But I am so thrilled to be here today to present Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman, who I've known for my entire time here. So we've supported one another in a myriad of ways, and she's just so amazing. And I'm so grateful. I know today is an extra special day for us. So she hasn't been here for a little while. She's very busy on the move, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what she's been up to, okay? Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman has been in religious science and unity for more than 4 decades. She became a CSL practitioner in 1987, a CSL minister in 2013, and was ordained in 2017. She is the founding community leader of Authenticity Journey of Renewal, a CSL-focused ministry launched in 2016. Currently, she is also serving as temporary spiritual leader at Unity Richmond, East Bay. Dr. Sunshine Michelle has actively served 10 CSL Unity and Unity spiritual communities during her time in New Thought, including Oakland CSL, her spiritual home. And when it was formerly First Church of Religious Science, Oakland, so going way, way back. Under the leadership of both Reverend Dr. Joan Stedman and Reverend Dr. Margaret Stortz. Her son, Freddie, the love of her life, previously participated in the OCSL youth program here. Dr. Sunshine Michelle has a passion for uncovering the true, authentic self and enjoys honoring sacred space. She is an author, designer, and facilitator of inspirational workshops, a convener of sacred circles, and has a new book and a unique deck of reflection cards in progress that is based on her doctoral work on authenticity and empowerment. Dr. Sunshine Michelle currently serves on the CSL Global Themes team and the CSL Spiritually Motivated and Socially Engaged Committee. She designed a circle series on racial healing in 2021 for CSL Black and Indigenous and people of color ministers, practitioners, and laity. So she's been very busy. She led the facilitation team in the delivery of that series for a total of approximately 400 people. Her professional career has been in human resources and diversity, inclusion, and equity for 25 years in a variety of industries. She loves walking amidst the redwood trees and by the water, participating in a beloved community environment, and being in service to life and inspirational living. So we are truly blessed today to welcome Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman. Yes.
Happy Sunday to you all. I thought I would start with, and if any of you can't see with your eyes, there was a moment of silence there so that I could greet you heart to heart, spirit to spirit. Welcome. I'm so glad to see y'all. You're awesome. All of you are awesome. I'm so glad to be here. And we have a lot to celebrate. You all have heard that already, right? So we have Father's Day today for fathers and for father figures. And I just want to start off with that. Like, let me see a show of hands, or if you want to stand up, how many fathers or father figures in the house? Let's give them an applause. Blessings. And I am holding in my heart my father and my stepfather, both whom stepped to the other side a year apart on the same month and the same day. 3 and 4 years ago, respectively. And so I bless them as well. We have Juneteenth that you've heard about, and we're going to keep saying it. We're celebrating these things today. This is freedom and emancipation of enslaved Africans in this country. And you better believe that with that freedom, we all experience freedom. Because, you know, Black people in this country have helped to build this country. And so we celebrate, and it's about time, and it's now going to be it's a holiday, right? So many folks are off work tomorrow, so that's a good thing. Sometimes it takes time, but we'll get there. And then summer solstice is coming around the corner. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, one of those days where we move into the summer month, into the lightness coming from the darkness. You need both. You know, you need the both and. And then it's Pride Month. So we have a whole lot that we're celebrating today, and I welcome you. This month, Centers for Spiritual Living is focusing on the body. And our topic today is the body remembers. And what I'm focusing on is the full body experience, where the body remembers at different levels. And by that, I'm speaking of 5 layers of body, not just the physical body. That's what we think of, right? There's the physical body, there's the mental body, there's the emotional body, there's the spiritual body, and then there's the soul body. That's 5 layers of body. That's a whole lot that can be stored and remembered in that space. So we're celebrating that, and if we remember consciously or unconsciously, and that makes a difference. There are 2 books that I'm drawing from with those 5 levels of consciousness. I had the joy and honor to co-facilitate an event recently with Jerry Teo, who is an indigenous elder, and he's awesome. His book is called Remembering Our Sacredness. And so he has this diagram of these 5 levels, with the soul level being either the deepest or the outermost or whatever one you whichever way you want to skew that. Then it got me thinking. I remember in ministerial school studying one of the professors who is big in quantum physics, Amit Goswami, and I was able to dig through my books. I could see it in my mind. It's like, I know that picture. Have you ever done that before? It's like, where is it? Where is it? So I was able to find the book, Physics of the Soul and the Quantum Doctor. And he has kind of a similar diagram of these 5 bodies. He calls them differently. But there's these 5 bodies of consciousness, which I call the full body experience. So that's what I'm focusing on today. Each level is affected by conscious and unconscious programming. And that hits right in our science of mind philosophy, where through our spiritual practices, we can peel the layers to see what's underneath. It's important what's underneath, because that could be sabotage in the prayer, right? We're praying up a storm on this direction, and we're wondering, well, how come it's not manifesting? But when we focus and we peel and see what's underneath, we've not healed from some other stuff before. And so it behooves us to become aware of those things so that we can have that whole full body wellness experience. Many of you are familiar with chakras, right? And there was a picture up there, it is right there. So there are 7 primary chakras and so many more that I'm told, but the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, the right here, the solar plexus. I couldn't get the word. You know, it's the abdomen. And we have the sacral right here, and then we have the root, which is at the base of the spine. And so these are energy points in our body, right? They can be blocked too. So it behooves us to know how to clear those energy points, again, for a whole body experience. I know Susan, I see her out there, she does yoga, she knows about that. And besides the chakra clearing, there are other energy points and techniques that we can work through, like there's heart math. I don't know how many of you have heard of that, where it's a scientific study of the heart and the intelligence of the heart, and how if you meditate and pray, it can help calm your heart and your system. There's Reiki, there's massage, there's acupressure. There's so many ways of healing our full body that would behoove us to have this whole clear system for a full body experience. A couple of examples for you. The body, the physical body, that's what, when we say body, that's what we usually think of, right? It's this physicality, which is a well-oiled machine, at least most of the time. It's a complex instrument, our body. And it remembers its wholeness and can protect us from an injury. You know, if you stub your toe, what happens? It gets swollen. Why? Because it's protecting that area. The body remembers its wholeness and how to protect you. And an infection. We may have an infection in our bodies, and you know, it may come out in another way. We may have an owie or ouch. We can't figure out what's wrong. We go to the doctor, we get it. Sometimes they have to go over and over and over with tests to figure out what is wrong. And it's a signal that the body is giving us to say something's not right. Our bodies are so smart. And there's miraculous healing. I call it the miracle working power of God that happens right here in our bodies. You can just watch a burn or a wound heal from the inside out. You know, it heals from the bone if you treat it right, and it heals, and then you see it can become invisible, where your skin looks like nothing happened. That's the miracle working power of the body. Well, when there's unprocessed and unhealed emotions, that can be stored in your body. That can hide in your body. And that can cause disease, or stress. So we have to be careful about what's in the underneath and how we're treating it. When you think of the mind, our mental faculties are amazing. You know, I don't know about you, but sometimes it feels like I have a jukebox going on in my head, because all of a sudden there will be this song that I haven't heard lately, and it just pops up out of nowhere. Have you all had that happen? It's like, where'd that come from? This is the mind, and it's so smart, and the things that happen, that warehouse in our mind. We have a built-in system in our faculties, in our psychological faculties, that when triggered, it will cause us, you've heard this, to fight, to flight, or to freeze. That's a way of protecting us. And then too, it can get out of balance and it can go overboard, right? So we have to stay in balance. Again, any unprocessed or unhealed emotions can hide in our mental faculties. We have to be careful about that. And certainly in the science of mind philosophy, you know, we need to pay attention to what we're telling ourselves subconsciously. If we're not paying attention, that subconscious will take over and tell us everything that we're not. You're not worthy. You're to this, you're to that, you're to the other. What makes you think you can do that? Unless we reprogram it, then we could be in trouble. So we have to be careful about that. It can cause dis-ease and distress as well. When we look at our emotional center, remember, I'm talking about the levels of the body, right? The emotional center can be triggered just by seeing something that happened to you in the past. If you're driving down the street and you see an accident, you could be triggered by an accident you had way back that you thought you had healed from. That's an opportunity for you to say, instead of, oh, you can go, okay, I thought I healed from that. But now I need to focus on that a little more. This is how our emotional center works. And it too can have these unprocessed, unhealed emotions that hide and that can sabotage our wellness. These are places for us to pay attention to. Spiritual body. You know, if I didn't think to bring the diagram and let them load it up, but if you think of an outline of a person, then you can see the different layers of body that I'm talking about. Kind of like an aura, right? Like an auric field. Our spiritual connection, when it's nurtured, can be keen and can be in tune through our intuition and deep knowingness. Have you ever known that you know that you know? Somebody can't tell you. You can't tell me that's not true because I know it. How do I know it? It's because it's deep within me. Hi, I just noticed you there. So we have to, again, pay attention to what's unprocessed in our spiritual center and what's unhealed in our emotions because it can sabotage our wellness. Then when you get to the soul, and Dr. Goswami calls it the superconsciousness, but he's a quantum physicist, so he gets pretty technical with it. He actually calls it a different name. But when you talk about the soul level, that deep connection, that knowingness that I'm connected to the divine, I call it the divine umbilical cord. Can you imagine we're all connected to an umbilical cord to spirit? We're connected whether you like it or not. But it's whether you acknowledge it, right? It's all about choice. I like to say you can be as happy or as miserable as you want to. Because humans were built with volition. It's all about choice. And you can change your mind. So if one day you were feeling totally unhappy and in that next moment you can choose something different. Doesn't that sound familiar? That's the science of mind philosophy. Well, that's that soul connection level. I'm on a team called the Angelic Realms team, dealing with the higher levels, right? And there's some times where I get into a flow where I'm hearing whatever I'm hearing for the very first time, just like the person I'm talking to. It's like, where is that coming from? I'm trying to listen out while I'm channeling this information. If we're in the flow, we have it like that. We roll like that because we're divinely connected in that umbilical cord. Have you ever seen somebody or met someone that you swear you've met them before? You can call it a deja vu moment if you want to, or whatever, but you just know that I know you from somewhere. That's it. That's why, because perhaps we've been living other lifetimes where we've interfaced before. But the soul body remembers. Our bodies remember on the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the emotional, and that soul level. And again, any unprocessed, unhealed emotions can hide and sabotage our wholeness. Our bodies are, I was thinking this morning, our bodies are smarter than our smartphone. They call it a smartphone for a reason. I find out things about my phone every day that are more than I knew about. Our bodies are like that. And they're very complex instruments. So it behooves us to get to know our bodies. Like we get to know our phone. Some people just live with the phone, like attached to this hand. They can't let it go. Our bodies are just like that. And we have to download the upgrades and you know how your phone does where it wants to upgrade and give you something new with it? We need to do that too. We don't have to, it's all about choice. But if we're here studying together, I think we all want to be the best that we can be, right? So through our classes, through meditation, through prayer, having prayer partners, through visioning. I have a friend who we visioned for 5 months together. Like every week we would talk and we would vision about things. And that visioning is still reaping the benefits. We need to get into these practices so that we can have a full body, healthy experience. That's what we want, is a healthy experience. Our bodies also remember hurt and harm. It remembers trauma and intergenerational trauma, trauma that gets passed down. How do we interrupt that? You know, or reprogram. You can call it reprogram, you can call it whatever you want, so that we're operating at a higher level of frequency, so that we can transform. We talk about transformation. Listen, doesn't our society need to transform? We need like an overhaul. We need to start from scratch. But that's the way we do it, is to be able to do our part to look within. If everybody did their part with what I'm telling you about, wouldn't we be in a different place? Everybody needs to look at all these layers of body to see what's in there and what's been passed down, even through the generations. I was beginning to talk about my mother, who's still living. It was tough. You know, and she will say things like, my grandmother, bless her heart, she's one of my favorite people in the world. My Grandma moved on the other side quite a while back. My mother would say things like, gosh, I don't want to be like her. She's so mean. And she said, and I can tell you, I listen to her sometimes, and she sounds just like Grandma. But listen, I'm telling her myself, if I catch myself, I sound just like her. And I'm saying, oh my gosh, I'm hoping that I don't do that to Freddie. And what am I doing? Unless we become aware, that subconscious way of speaking and behaving will creep out at times that you don't expect, and you better believe it's going to send you somewhere that you don't want to be, or we claim we don't want to be. But it's okay if we allow ourselves to become aware of it. Awareness is everything. And if we catch ourselves doing those things, we can change it. We can move on the continuum from fear to faith, right? It's all kind of the same continuum. One is on one side and the other one's on the other side. If we find ourselves imbalanced, skewed too far to fear, what do? We need to put some practices in there to bring us back to faith. Or you better believe we'll stay in fear. But if we're unconscious of it, how do we know? Unless we're willing to admit, how do we know? And so this intergenerational trauma piece is really important. It's where internal and unconscious bias resides, where we end up making judgments about people and we don't even know them. That's the danger in our society today that has caused us to go so awry. I remember when I was working at the university, even when, those senior faculty who were in hiring manager roles and were trying to hire faculty, and we had this diversity and inclusion statement and everything where we wanted and appreciated diversity in our faculty and our students, and go on and on and on. But what was happening was they were hiring, I'm talking about faculty now, hiring people who looked like them and who had pedagogy like them and who believed like them. Why is that? That's bias. That's bias, and we all have it. Guess what? We were all raised under a patriarchal structure. No matter which side of the house we were on, we're all raised in it, and we all have to unlearn it. And that's what hopefully we're here to do, is to shift the global paradigm, or else we won't be able to do it. We have to invoke healing intentionally. This is all intentionally. And this is where our spiritual work comes in that I mentioned earlier. We have to choose to heal. We have to look at, our Science of Mind teaching symbol here that has the three categories: spirit, mind, and body, right? The body of effects, planting the seed and letting the law do its work, and then having output. In training, in the practitioner training, we look at that as the seed, soil, plant. Everybody knows that one, right? You want to grow some tomatoes, you got to start with the seed. You get the seed or the plant, and what happens? You need to put it in some soil, don't you? The soil is subjective, and it will produce no matter what. It says yes no matter what. And what happens? You get a tomato plant. This is what we need to go back to. Resmaa Menakem, in My Grandmother's Hand, says this: in today's America, we tend to think of healing as something binary. Either we're broken or we're healed from that brokenness, one or the other. But that's not how healing operates, he says, and it's almost never how human growth works. More often, healing and growth take place on a continuum, the continuum that I just mentioned to you, with innumerable points between utter brokenness and total health. If we want to be healthy, we need to turn our attention from fear, if fear is over here, and we're noticing that, oh, I love that, the plant's up there, and we're noticing that, we're steeped in fear. What do? It is not like you have to make a 180 to look at faith. You can do a gradual pan. You can let go of it gradually if that's going to work better for you. But that's how you're going to change your output, is to turn to faith. And that's what we need to do here for our full body experience. So as we celebrate Juneteenth and, the injustices and the inequities of Black people in this country and anyone that was enslaved, I know we're standing on Ohlone land. And, it behooves us to know the lands that we're on of the indigenous people. That's why so many folks are starting to do land acknowledgements. They're starting to do land trusts and to rematriate the land, because it's time to honor. That's the only way we're going to get better. So let us give a hand for Juneteenth. We gave a hand for Father's Day. Yeah, and I acknowledge again this double header. We have Father's Day. Let's give a hand for that. And with Father's Day, I want to highlight the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And we have both. The yin and the yang, it's right there. It's on that flag right there in front. I love how things are just showing up for me. That flag right there has the yin and the yang. It's the both and. It's not binary or either or. And, we need both, so we need to know that. And then talk about being proud. We have a lot to be proud about, right? Well, we're lifting each other up in our LGBTQ plus family in celebrating Pride Month and the injustices and the struggles that this community has been experiencing over decades and decades. And we have some freedom there, but not fully. But let's give a hand for pride. So as I bring this to a close, as you go forth this week, pay attention to your full body experience. Just start looking. What was Reverend Sunshine talking about? Let me see. Take an assessment of my physical body, my mental body, my emotional and my spiritual body, my soul level body. I think when people talk about the body, they probably are talking about all those bodies, but when we can call them out, when we can know them independently, then we're able to kind of dissect the different areas and categorize them and make it more palatable for us to have a whole body experience. And that's what we want, so that we can remove blockages and remove the trauma and move through it in a way that is healthy. Because if we're clear, if we're free flowing, like if all of our chakras were clear and free flowing, and we're in the flow, then we're healthy. And that's where we want to be. Do you want to be there? I know I do. I work at it hard, and be patient with ourselves, because sometimes we could feel badly about, man, that came up? I thought I healed from that 30 years ago. But instead, you can flip it. That's one of my tools. You can say you heard it from me. I love the flip it model. You can flip the way you're saying things rather than, oh, man. It's like, oh, yeah, I get the opportunity to. Oh, joy. Sometimes that's hard. My practitioner used to always say that to me. Say, oh, silly dumpling. But I would say, how can she say that? It's like, this is hard stuff. We can choose to see it as hard, or we can choose to see it as an opportunity for us as intricate spiritual, physical beings to get better, to expand, and to have a healthy, full body experience. Listen, everybody, thank you so much for having me here with you today. I so appreciate being back. Reverend Jerry was right. I've been here a long time, or it was Dorothy that said it. Being back home is so good to be here. So now we're going to go into prayer. Are you ready? Okay. Oh, what a joy and a pleasure it is. Thank you, practitioners, if you'd like to stand out. That's so lovely, practitioners and ministers. Oh, what a joy and a pleasure it is to come together, heart to heart, full body to full body in God, knowing that this is all there is, as Dorothy said in her prayer. There's nothing else. There's lots of different experiences. There's the multiplicity of it in this divine experience that we're having. And in the scheme of oneness, we focus on wholeness, we focus on joy, we focus on love, we focus on freedom, we focus on equity, we focus on love, we focus on those things that we know are God qualities, and we keep our attention there. And we keep growing in its creativity and its expansiveness, because that's how God is. That's what God is. That's what we are. We are created out of this divine stardust, and we are operating on that whole spiritual divine level each and every moment, even as we have this earth plane experience. So I am grateful that we stand in oneness together, that we stand in unity, that we stand in this wholeness that we are talking about, that we heal, that we transform, that we have the courage and the faith and the strength to do whatever is needed for us to rise each and every moment. And as we rise, we do so as a community. We rise here knowing that the truth is exalted. The truth is exalted. The truth is exalted. In every place where there is appearance of war, we know peace. No matter how hard it gets, we know we can look to God's grace, God's majestic grace. We can know that regardless of appearances, that it is flowing and moving in a divine upward spiral. And so we focus our attention there today in collective consciousness as community, knowing that these words that are spoken in this energetic that we are creating and co-creating together today is powerful, it's palpable, and that we're not doing it alone, for we are doing it in the space of God's grace, and that the laws of the universe are supporting us to manifest this and something better. Always and right now. So I am grateful, so grateful, so grateful. Just for so much, I'm so grateful. Just so grateful this morning for the completion of this word even before we complete it. Because I know God goes before and prepares the way. For whatever the prayers are in the prayer box and on the prayer list, which Reverend Jerry will pray into in a moment, wherever prayers are being uttered, prayers are on our hearts, prayers out in the community, prayers for our world, prayers for this country, prayers for our next door neighbors, wherever it is and everywhere, that God is teaming and right there in the center of it all, bringing us to wholeness. So for this, I am grateful to speak this word and grateful to partner with Reverend Jerry Carter, who is doing a Yo Woman's work here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living and blessing everyone in service today, giving thanks, overflowing, and blessing the fathers, blessing us in this Juneteenth freedom emancipation moment, blessing the move from the spring into the summer, into this newness, into this lightness. Blessing the fathers, blessing everyone here. And so with this, I simply release my word and pass it on to Reverend Jerry to complete.
Energetic of blessings, this energetic of love that Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle has so beautifully established for us this day. What a blessing it is. And I'm knowing and accepting and speaking my word for this month's nonprofit partner, Interfaith Council of Alameda County. The Interfaith Council of Alameda County's mission is to promote mutual respect, understanding, and engagement among the diverse faith traditions in Alameda County and to build a just and moral community. What a blessing the Interfaith Council is as our nonprofit partner this month. And continuing on in this blessing and this attitude and feeling tone of gratitude, blessing our youth and the youth of the world, knowing that they are guided by the loving mind and heart of Spirit. And blessing each and every person who submitted a prayer in the prayer request box that Dodie has been so circling her consciousness around this during this service, knowing that each and every prayer is truly an answered prayer, and blessing all of those who have requested prayer from our ministry of prayer, this team of individuals that so beautifully supports our community in continued prayer for each and every one. And I'm knowing love and peace and mind and comfort and healing for all those impacted by challenges of whatsoever form. For our Jamie Abrea, Sam Lydion, our beloved Lewis Thompson practitioner. We know that they are divinely held in the love and the light of the One, always and all ways. Our prayers go out into the U.S. and into the world during such tender times. And for Ukraine and all world wars, we hold the consciousness of peace. And regardless of which direction this pandemic has been moving, we know safety and wholeness for each and every one. And blessing our beloved Shashton Feast, who made her transition last month in the evening on a Saturday, as she was preparing herself for Sunday service in our youth and family ministry. We send our love and prayers to her sister Wendy and the family. And we are holding Shashton's spiritual family. That's each and every one of us here at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, holding the high watch for each and every one. And so now I invite you to take a moment and go within into your heart space and whisper the name or names of anyone into the sacredness of this sanctuary who are in need of a prayer this day. And so as the names continue to be brought into our sacred sanctuary, we just know and trust that the divine guidance of the One, the wholeness of the One, the goodness of the One, the abundance of the One is everywhere present for each and every one of us. How good it is to know the graciousness of God is right where we are. I'm so very grateful for the words spoken. I'm so very grateful for Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle sharing her brilliance with us this day and for her spoken word. And I'm so grateful for this community, this loving, kind, and amazing community here at the Oakland Center. I'm blessing us all this day. And as I release these words into the universal law of love, letting them go, knowing that all of our heart's desires are being made manifest, please join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. Ashe. Dodie. So beautiful, Kev. Thank you. And guess what? It's our conscious giving time. Woohoo! Yes. It is an abundant universe, and God wants us to live our lives more abundantly, always. So let us hold our gift to our heart. We have baskets in the back of the sanctuary and here at the exit. And just hold your gift to your heart, knowing that and sharing in our affirmation, which reads, joyously I give with an attitude of abundance, knowing that as I give, I do receive. And so it is. And of course, as always, we have many ways to give. Besides dropping your gift in the basket, you have auto tithe, we have donate button on our website, we have text to give and Zelle to give, and there's lots of opportunities to give. So I encourage us all to step into the law of circulation. And I'd like to share something from our Science of Mind textbook, the glossary, page 622.3. It's about prosperity. And it says, prosperity is the outpicturing of substance in our affairs. Everything in the universe is for us. Nothing is against us. We must know that everywhere we go, we meet friendship, love, human interest, and helpfulness. Life is ever giving of itself. We must receive, utilize, and extend the gift. Success and prosperity are spiritual attributes belonging to all people, but not necessarily used by all people. So let us share our gifts and use our gifts and know that our gifts are abundantly blessing each and every one. Thank you so much. And now I'm inviting our musical inspiration, Valerie and Kev, back. Thank you.
and I'm reclaiming my time. I am thankful for the love that's inside. I am thankful for the joy that resides. I am thankful for the peace in my mind. I am thankful that you're sitting right by my side. I'm so thankful, thankful, grateful, thankful. I'm thankful, so grateful, thankful, grateful. I'm so thankful, I'm grateful, thankful, grateful, thankful, grateful.
Whoa, what a Sunday. Happy, happy this Sunday. Let's give Reverend Sunshine Michelle another hand. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all for this wonderful Sunday service. Without you, it is not possible. I want to let you know that the practitioners here at Oakland Center have a gift for you, and that is the gift of prayer. So we say, if you want to celebrate something, if you want to let go of something, take it to the upper room, which is in the back after service. Now I'd like you all to stand for our closing affirmation. It'll be on the PowerPoint. I feel and honor every sensation in my body. So it is. And I'll ask that you please exit the church sanctuary right after. Reverend Sunshine Michelle will be out if you'd like to greet and talk with her for a minute.
We can remain standing for our closing song. We can all sing this together. We are blessed always. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Give thanks. Have a blessed day, have a blessed week, blessed Juneteenth, blessed Father's Day, blessed Pride, blessed summer solstice. We are blessed always in this space.